Carson, honestly, Sean, I don't know if you'll speak on it that much, Sean, but I don't see Golden Boy putting him in there just because of business-wise. You don't have Canelo no more. You have to push a guy. That's your guy.
That's what I was saying.
I got to get my money out of this guy.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. What I was saying, where your promotional company fight for you the way that they did to get this Luke Campbell fight. So, you put everything out in social media that we want the fight to happen. But number one, are you going to call for that fight to happen? And then number two, if there's a roadblock or two, are you willing to do whatever it takes to jump through those hoops the same way you did to get this Luke Campbell fight? You don't, you get a fight with Devin Haney. That goes the way you want it to. You don't, you get a fight with Shakur Stevenson. That fight goes the way you want it to. Vasily Lomachenko even, and that fight could go the way you wanted to, somewhere in that order. And then maybe even with that experience, you're ready for a fight with Tank Davis, or with those type of fights, your promotional company is saying, okay, now we can go after, Tank Davis because we've gotten what we need to get out of you, and we've gotten to the point that we need to get where everybody's going to be able to eat off of a fight with Tank Davis. So I think I see that happening.
Let me ask you this then, on the opposite side of that, if you are Golden Boy, and we'll go with the scenario you went with, where you're not overly certain he wins the fight, you're not enthusiastic about making the fight, maybe running rocks, whatever. Don't you, as Golden Boy, run the risk of then alienating Ryan Garcia, where there has been some friction before? If he really wants this fight, and you're like, and you kind of half step on making the fight, and he's like, "You're my promotional company. I told you to make the fight, and then you don't. Aren't you running the risk of him being like, oh, I can't get the fights. I'm demanding this fight, and you can't get it for me. Why am I here?"
Well,
as kind of a hypothetical.
Absolutely. It's the perfect hypothetical. And the thing that happens with that is, is there a conversation that no one ever sees that Golden Boy and Ryan Garcia has? And they make Ryan understand, like, hey, this is where we are in our career. You're following the Golden Boy model. You see what Oscar De La Hoya was able to do over the course of his career. This is when we want to take those fights. And they point it out to, and they spell it out to him in a way that the business makes sense. And I think that I know actually from getting Ryan on the podcast today that he's got people in place that handle his business for him, and they do a fantastic job of it. And I think that more than anything is what needs to be understood for him at this point is you as a fighter, you're a warrior, you have a warrior mindset, and you don't always have your warrior instincts take precedent over business at some points in times. And in those points in times, this is why we're here, and we're here to direct you the way that your career needs to go. So that's what I expect ultimately to happen. I know we've seen some friction in the past. We've seen them be at odds in the past, and we've even seen him say, hey, I'm not getting the fight I'm ready to jump ship. But at the end of the day, they were able to make this fight with Luke Campbell happen. He seems happy. Golden Boy was in his corner right after the fight. Canelo was even there after the fight. So if anything, you may even have Canelo chirping at him saying, hey, I don't think this is the fight right now. I think I could see Canelo being a lot like us, like just keeping it real with him. Like, hey, I'm not saying you can't beat him. I'm just saying right now is not the time to fight him.
What about flip that with Canelo? What if Canelo's the opposite? What he just had a very public issue with Golden Boy. What if he's like, they're not taking care of you? Now, come on now.
We know that has to be happening. We know that has to be happening. If you are my friend and we're about to get on the bus and we sit next to each other every single day, and then something goes wrong on the bus, I'm like, yo, I'm not catching this bus today. I'm riding the other one. You can catch that one if you want to, but eventually I'm going to show you how to get on this bus with me. Eventually, so you gotta assume that there's been some conversations of, hey, yo, I wasn't unhappy. How did you get out of it? I was unhappy. Am I going to be unhappy moving forward? Don't tell me you didn't enjoy what you saw, because I know you did. What you need to do now, hit that subscribe button, hit the like, hit that notification button. Check us out every week, every Tuesday, something new for you right here on the Porter Way Podcast.